And finally tonight, we'll hear from Charles Alexander. Charles is a poet, bookmaker, and the founder and director of Chax Press. He's the author of 5 books and 11 chapbooks of poetry, most recently Pushing Water from Cuneiform Press, and the chapbooks Some Sentences Look for Some Periods and 2 Pushing Waters, both from Little Red Leaves. Charles serves as poet and designer in residence at the University of Houston, Victoria, where he directs the MFA Creative Writing Program and manages the UHV Center for the Arts. He lives in Victoria with his partner, the painter Cynthia Miller. Thank you, and please welcome Charles Alexander.
That person, Cynthia Miller, is also the co-manager of the Center for the Arts, too.
Well, sometimes.
Sometimes, yes. Wow, you know, it says behind here, a literary community, and I feel like I was one of the architects of a literary community for the better part of 30 years in Tucson, Arizona, and I'm just discovering what mine is here in Texas after the better part of 3 years, and I'm really glad to be here with some people tonight that I feel like are helping with that, and this place is part of that too. So thank you. This, I'm going to read from both of the books from Little Red Leaves, a little bit from each of them, and this is from a work called Some Sentences Look for Some Periods, which I think is because I've always wanted to be a linguist, or ever since I first studied linguistics. But this is more memoir than I usually write, although it's neither straightforward nor chronological, so it may not always sound like it. And this is part 3 of that work, which has 3 parts. There it is on the dresser. A photograph of a man in a uniform, close-cut hair, prominent nose, a look on the face with just a little bit of possible mischief in the eyes. 1, 2, march in step. 3, 4, great big heart. 5, 6, don't get sick. 7, 8, attack the gate. 9, 10, angels sent. They don't come back wherever they go. Red heart of tin leaning against a lantern of tin, against a wall of blue, above a fireplace surrounded by tile, in a room of light that has been the room of a child, and the room of the parents, and the room of guests, and the room of reading, watching, waiting for that period. What's a period, though, by any other name? The next name is a dot. A dot in this era is made of many dots. We are a matrix of dots in an age of digits. I heard a phrase in a video clip, the pathos of the age. Is there a pathos in a digital age? Can numbers be pathos or paths? Ring a round of roses told, mount the blows, and count the bodies? Or does it just happen, and we keep on accumulating the dots, the periods, the rooms of living and not living? Ring out the old, ring in the new, his lordship said. In memoriam patris mei, mea culpa domine. By being born, we are all innocent, or perhaps by being born, we are all at fault. It is not a matter of religion, but of blood. Red on the water, red on the wood, red in tooth and claw, red in the painting of time and memory, red in the drips and strokes, red in the well, red in the book of years, writ in the book of wonders. By any other name, the rose is red. By this end game, the rose is black. The voice is represented by 2 others to have been quick and unequal. No words, no sounds resembling words were by any witness mentioned as distinguishable. Here lies the sound of a word. Under grounds we determine, yet the sound may be another sound. The word may be another word, the sense may be another sense, and what we mean may be indistinguishable from what they mean. What we mean may indeed be distinguishable from who we are, and we spin a tale of words. Then said he thus, O Palus, whilom day that now art night. Day or night we wonder, wander. Day for night we ponder, pander, consider. Making a film is like a stagecoach ride in the Old West. By the end, you just hope to survive. American night, American day. I hope we get through it. Whether in the film or in the painting or in the black milk or in the black poem or in the street of bodies. These are the times that try our souls, but soul is just a period, a moment of dots coalescing before the deluge. But what about after the sentence finds or doesn't find a period? What about after the after? What about after the affair of the heart, the affair of the tin heart, the affair of the fear or the tear, pronounced both ways as water flowing or dripping from tear ducts around the eyes, or as rip, coherence ripped in too many pieces to count, too many dots to put Humpty together again. Then is a word to locate us in time. Then we begin. Then we begin again. We don't speak, not at first, much less write. The grammatology has not yet been done, much less undone. We have a light, and we invent a sponsor for that light, a sponsor for the going around from left to right and top to bottom each day, for growing awake and growing weary and growing wonky and honking in traffic, cranking the window open and letting just a little of the light into the center of the room, cracking the window open and letting just a little of the air into the middle of the breath. Now then, do you deny that your name is tender? Do you deny that your bones are brittle? Do you deny that your love is tender to another? Do you deny that you are who you say that you are, do you? This puts one on the defensive. It is not a matter of denial, but of affirmation. I am, said the man in the robe. But what am I? The one my little dog knows? Or the one who speaks when I speaks? Or just the one among many, a dot among the other dots? The dots are like rain, and the rain has not stopped, despite what I may have said at an earlier moment. When some words stop being said, others are invented, utterly, utterly told. Every picture tells several stories, and in such stories we remember, which means to put the dots together, or put them in a line, a dotted line from place or time to place or time, and everyone knows the dots are fragile, unwinding, deconstructing in and out of the light. But the dots are still there. They blow and howl and roar and roll through the central square and over the hill and achieve rightness when rightness is all and lose it when the rest is silence. We know there is no rest. We do not yet know silence. My friend Teray Fowler Chapman likes to say at poetry readings, "It's poetry, it's not golf. You can make noise." It's not golf. She likes golf, I don't know. This one is Pushing Water 58, not in the book that's already been published, but to be in the next book. And it's for Alec and for Ro. Alec, some of you may know Alec Finley, a Scottish poet that spent a couple of winters where I was, and it was really great to get to know him. And Ro is my father-in-law, Ro Miller, Cynthia's father, who, when I wrote this, was in a hospital sort of recovering from something, and I remember shaving him and things. And I think I've read this a couple of times, but I haven't read it for a long time. He died about 3 weeks ago. So I wanted to read it tonight. What happens inside appears outside or aside. From the pain, formal feeling again drowned out. Cannot distinguish this moment, from this morning or yesterday. Then a woman stops her cart of groceries to pull out a notebook and hand you a poem. Not to echo you or possibly so the ears tuned by your words. These possibles then, a crack in the air and something leaves. Can soon consume the day's own sense of recall. A dry region, an airy pleasure, a leaf here then, here there. I hear a tractor, some motor blowing, no bird this hour. Breathing an ocean between rows and rows of breathing an ocean. Secular seclusion, oracular recreation, responsible or not, they are words. A form in the eye of walking, form curves in the sound and light. It skips a beat, bends to heat, willow where or everywhere. Possible tangent in impossible time, impossible tangent in possible form. The science is imposing a post, a poem. Right now, mesquite leaves across grass and bodies walking to or from some places. White crutches, pink shoes and shirt and backpack and cast a certain strawberry slippage. Now must move, but only wish to move ink and form or inform a letter and a fine place to remain. One asks if there is sky in a poem, and now sky enters the poem. It is an idea I once had or am having. While thinking of a friend who always knew the bare second between a thing and a thought. She and many gone now, and still they talk to me day and night, as his white, fine face hair grows, and I shave him with no qualms. Another moment, and another. A lot of time is spent waiting. What for? What else? What have we missed? Could have been otherwise, and perhaps not ready. Can one be lost on this small planet? A fork, a tune, no vibration missed, no place untouched or unmoved. Yesterday began this poem and ended sunlight for hours and hours. If water pushes, we move against one another, and water always pushes. Sky high and still more up than below, one step leads somewhere. A page left behind, go back and find a place to fill in. White and not so white, where ink edges. Lift something because you can. A line. Lift light and up, free and not an end, not attached to earth any longer. Lift longer. We knew every part of the distance, not between us, as you came to me, and I gave whatever I might, or more. To not know not, nor to know, or not to. The edge of the body, skin and hair, alive all the way to the edge. Here today, and who knows after this exhalation of it was and is and will be all at once where we are, or perhaps have been. And I'm going to read, some of these pieces that I've written in the last couple of months. And they're after a manuscript that I sent off in a book to a friend of mine who's in the room, and that sort of break away but continue part of that. The first is an untitled poem that I wrote after a conversation with my friend Julie Patton, some of you may know Julie, and it begins with a quote from Frances Boldereff, a letter she wrote to Charles Olson, where she wrote, "To have the humilitas to know the secrets objects share." And there is the material of the dream of the hand, the dream of the shared language, not secret. For secrets are what keep us away while teasing the soul. Revelation, not secret. The flow of the water in the Canadian river, all rivers. The horse taking off so fast the first time I sat on such an animal. I had to jump off, though ever since I have been on that horse, as though there is no place, no sense of being off, and here we go. Manawidin to Sequoia in the humid green, where here it is that everything not the poem is precisely the poem. Words are acts, but acts are words too. Revelation, not secret. The very opposite of cult, the very openness of canyon. And a note today, the light before me, the one who says Wukstanchen, who says words pulls us in, and they pull us and push into those waters of that river. All rivers, though the one known has sandbanks that gather the waters when they rise, gather our bodies in the night in the act of joining word to word and times lost to space's reach. For now is then, or whenever, or precisely when all eyes look at all eyes, look through all eyes, open in the water, open in the catch of the hand, open in the shared space inside the word. I don't know if I've taken too much time yet, but I'm going to read a little bit more. Okay. The last pieces I've been writing, like sometimes one a day, sometimes several days, sometimes a week without writing any. And I've been talking about them like writing a gear shift without the rest of the car. So you got this moment like from a point something turns or happens, but not really beginning or end or other parts of it. And we'll see how that works. And I don't know yet if they are all separate pieces or somehow they all flow. The bark among the stars turn, not to burn, but among the light, Blake's light, the light of no angel, but ourselves. The first person constructs itself where anyone might wander out of the lightest of materials and much repetition. The want or the wayward, a wing and a word, the fish and the line, the possible and the prose, gather and disperse, contract and release, the sight and the sight, over and ongoing. All comers come or men move over. Days are true intuitions of nature's sentences. East to water, west to light, north to mountains, south to time and the absence. Jests perplex and dance befall, will unlock and hands catch all. No eyes without glance aside, no love without time's blessing, days decay. Quiet ends, ripeness ends, all ends, ends as well to all ends, amends to all for all that all ends, amen to all that ends and all ends, affirm for once and all that all ends, end now, end, yes, the end of all ends. That should be pumped in with, it's not. To fly a kite, gather the wind, to gather the wind, breathe in with others, to breathe in with others, be alive, to be alive, fly a kite. On the horizon is just such a geographic way to think about a time-based phenomena. I want to walk there when the time is right. Two options in a word or on a word. The word is a wave, and we are inside the wave of the world. The word is inside, or we are the word inside the wave. Clench and relax, gather and disperse, contract, and release the viral word, the unfolded word we are within. She offered a cup of wine. I accepted a cup of wine. I asked for another. She poured another. We shared an afternoon. Fair eye for far isle, the heart a bloody muzzle of desire. Shifting geography, from Gloucester out, from Idaho out, from Oahu in, please let us not constrict ourselves, even in our breathing. Present, a reckoning time. The future, a kenning time. The past, a keening time. All times, on this paper, fold the page, turn the leaf, in time, in due time. Thank you.